So, the quest to crown the kings of Europe is about to reach its climax. We have 4 teams left, 4 games to go, and only 2 teams can battle it out in the end to crown the kings of Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the UEFA Champions League semi-finals, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is my predictions of the UEFA Champions League last 4. And listen guys, as much as you know, we've seen a lot of drama, a lot of crazy stuff happen during the quarterfinals. Obviously, my team didn't end up making it. We ended up falling short in the quarterfinals, but there is still a crown to be given, and right now guys, it is a battle to the end. We have some cracking games and maybe some games that people don't want to see on paper, but ladies and gentlemen, this is the prediction guys. So you guys already know what to do guys. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and let's get into it. And make sure you guys also get in the comments and you guys let me know what are your predictions of all of the games guys coming up in the semi-finals. But listen, obviously guys, like I mentioned, there is some cracking games and some games that on paper people don't want to see. Now, the game that I believe that a lot of people are looking forward to seeing in this semi-finals is without a shadow of a doubt PSG versus Bayern Munich. And let's be real here. This game between these 2 clubs, this is basically the final before the final. This is the 2 teams that many people believe are the favorites to win the Champions League. And instead of having it in the finals, we are having it in the semi-finals. And when I talk about the kings of Europe, the champions of Europe, we have PSG. They are the current kings. They are defending their crown, and they are very, very close. And they can look at the tie and they can look at the last 4 and think and believe that they can end up making it back-to-back Champions Leagues. And then they play against a Bayern Munich team who this season, they have really been amazing, right? They are been absolutely incredible in Europe, right? And they've been doing so well. They've just secured the Bundesliga title with Vincent Kompany, and they have been one of the most entertaining teams to watch in this Champions League and basically in Europe in general. And obviously guys, like I mentioned, this is the final before the final, and the reason why is because these 2 teams are 2 of the most impressive teams in the Champions League. When you look at PSG's run, they had a slow start, but they picked it up in the elimination round. And as you know guys, in the quarterfinals, they absolutely destroyed Liverpool. Absolutely destroyed them. It was a men against boys day. I mean, when you look at the run this season of PSG, they have woken up during these knockout rounds. I know during the playoffs they had a little bit of a edgy game against Monaco, but they definitely woke up in the round of 16 against Chelsea. Like I mentioned, the game against Liverpool, and both of them were batterings. They were batterings, and there's gonna be a lot of people, including myself, who are looking at this game and thinking, do they have too much firepower for this Bayern Munich team? A Bayern Munich team who, let's be honest man, if there is any team in Europe that could knock out this PSG team, it is Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have been incredible throughout the season in Europe, right? They finished second this season in the Champions League group stages. They have been absolutely impressive, absolutely destroyed Atalanta, and just like that, in the last game against Real Madrid, which, on paper many people expected it to be a battering, but in the end it wasn't a battering, but they did still win both legs. And I know both of the games were narrow, but this is Real Madrid. At the end of the day, as much as I hate them, one thing we know about Real Madrid is they will always turn up in the Champions League. So many people might look at that game between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich and look at Real Madrid this season in general, especially in the league, and say, they struggled against this Madrid team. Do not underestimate how good Madrid are in Europe. They are different beasts when they play in Europe. And Bayern Munich, they did very, very well to not bottle that away win. And they got the win in the end, and they won both legs. But now, this is a different challenge, because this is PSG. And one thing I will say about Bayern Munich is that when you look at that game against Real Madrid, they were very wasteful, especially in the first leg. They were very wasteful, and they gave away too many easy chances, especially in that second leg, to give Madrid hope. You do not want to make that mistake against this PSG team. You have to wake up, because when you look at the PSG team, you look at the firepower that they have in their attack. You've got Dembele, who's now beginning to wake up. Obviously, won the Ballon d'Or last season, was integral to why they won the Champions League last season. This season, he's woken up, especially in that quarterfinal. So having him up right now, that's not a good thing for Bayern Munich. And then you look at players like Kvaratskhelia, who can also be a problem. Desiree Doué, who can also be a problem. Even guys like Bakola can also be an issue. Players like Vitinha, they have a lot of firepower, even in the defensive areas like the Hakimis, the Pachos, Marquinhos, all of these guys. They have too much firepower, right? And that is going to be an issue. And I think that when you look at Bayern Munich, obviously, the big one is Harry Kane. Harry Kane has been cooking this season, but also Michael Olise. Michael Olise in that game against Real Madrid was the star of the tie, right? Absolutely was amazing. Luis Diaz, he also does this thing. Sometimes he can be inconsistent, but he also can turn up when he needs to turn up, right? And you got players like Musiala who just returned from injury. They have a few good players. Defensively, I still question players like Upamecano and how wasteful they could be, or how error prone they are. You don't want to have players like that, especially when you're dealing with this PSG attack. But that is going to be very interesting to see. And another thing I need to mention is that even though we have seen this tie, and I haven't mentioned it enough, these two teams did play earlier in the Champions League, which was funny enough in the Parc des Princes, where this game will be played, and Bayern Munich did win away at the Parc des Princes. But I will say this, it's not going to be the same. This game is going to be very different from the game we saw a few months ago in the group stages, right? So I think it's going to be very, very interesting. What do I think is going to happen in this first leg, and who am I giving it to? Personally, for me, I think PSG will get the win in this one. I don't think it will be a battle. I'll be very shocked if it was a battle. I will be. I think it's going to be very close, and I'm going to be giving the edge to PSG. I'm going to go with PSG 2, Bayern Munich 1. Now, let's go to the next tie, and I'm going to be very honest. This is just my opinion, right? At the end of the day, please, Atleti fans, Arsenal fans, don't take this personally, but my goodness, if there is one semi-finals I'm not looking forward to watching, it's this one. It's not because of jealousy, maybe a little bit, because obviously my team didn't make it, right? We should have been here, but we're not. But it is what it is. That's football. The reason why I feel like a lot of casual fans are not looking forward to this game is because it's Arsenal versus Atleti. It's Mikel Arteta versus Diego Simeone. I'm sorry, man. Like, if you talk about the definition of haram ball, this is haram ball at its finest. This might not be easy to watch. I'm going to be very... If this match, I'm going to be very... Do you understand how shocked personally I would be if this tie right here was the most entertaining out of the two games? Nah, I don't think any of us have any expectations of this game being good, because let's be honest, both of these teams basically play very similar styles of football, right? You've got, on one hand, you've got Arteta, who's playing mediocre Stoke football with like set pieces, defensive football and set pieces. I mean, I know they attack a little bit more than Atleti, but my goodness, guys, they are a set piece FC. There's a reason why they sing that song, Set Piece FC, right? That is what they are, man. Like, it's going to be so hard to watch. There's not going to be a lot of free-flowing football. And then you look on the other side, do I really even need to talk about Simeone? If you're a football fan, you know what to expect against Simeone. I mean, Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid. Yes, they did well, right? But let's be real. In that game against us, they basically took advantages of our mistakes. We had a stupid red card that we shouldn't have given them. We gave them an early lead, and we gave them a chance to sit back and hit us on the counter. Got that first leg victory, which basically ended the tie. And even though we went there to the Wanda, and we played very, very well, it was already too late. We gave them what they wanted, right? And look, at the end of the day, it is a two-legged tie. And one thing I will give Simeone is, when it comes to cup competitions, especially in this two-legged ties kinds of situation, he has this tendency of getting it done. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be beautiful. In fact, it's going to be very ugly. But he has shown that he can get it done. He can get it done in the most putrid, haram way that you will ever see. But then you look at, on the other side, Arsenal have issues. If you look, I mean, it's a no-brainer. They have just bottled their top of the top part area in the league, right? Now they are second. they are looking at that thinking they basically messed it up. I know this is a good opportunity for them to challenge in the European Cup final, right? But they've been having issues and they have a lot of injuries. I think, I heard apparently Gabriel Magalhaes, who's very important to this Arsenal team, not just defensively, but on set pieces as well, right? Apparently he's out with an injury. And if he's out, that is going to be an issue, especially in defensive and also, like I mentioned, in those set pieces, because those corners into the box, guess who's usually the one that's always on the end of it? Man like Gabriel. And if they lose him in this game, that's going to basically be another problem for this Arsenal team. And look, I think if you ask me who quality-wise has the better team, I would edge it a little bit towards Arsenal, right? I would say Arsenal have the better quality players. But the problem is, I'm looking at both managers. And if I'm going to be honest, Mikel Arteta doesn't fill me with any confidence personally for me, right? When you look at this season's Champions League, they were amazing in the group phase. Finished top of Europe, the table, right? They were given a very good, run to the semi-finals. They had to take on Bayer Leverkusen and Sporting. But in that last game against Sporting, look at that game. Look at both legs. That was not an easy game to watch. And this is Sporting we're talking about. I know Sporting have been impressive. They've had a few great wins during this Champions League this season. But it's Sporting. Sporting Lisbon. They literally won the away game, which was impressive. And then they drew at home. A putrid performance on both sides. And then you look at the Atletico game, but Atletico Madrid with Simeone, that is suspected. And when you look at this tie, the first leg is at the Wanda Metropolitano. And I can promise you this, Simeone is going to do anything and everything to make sure that he gets this win. It doesn't have to be a big win. All you have to do is give him a win. Give him a 1-0 to defend. Give him a 2-0 to defend. God forbid you give them a 3-goal to defend. Because I promise you, if they win this tie by a 2-goal margin or 3-goal margin, forget about what happens in the second leg. Arsenal are not coming back. It is over. It is over. And just like the PSG game, we've already seen these two teams play each other earlier in the Champions League. And I know people are going to say, Omar, in the group phases, Arsenal battered Atletico Madrid. But then I have to remind you, group phases and knockout football are two different things. Okay? They might have been able to afford to drop points Atleti or afford to basically not play at their level. But this is the last four. It's going to be a different proposition. So, what do I think is going to happen in this first leg between Atletico Madrid and Arsenal? I'm going for it. I'm going to go with Atletico Madrid 1, Arsenal 0. I think Arsenal are going to win, are going to lose this game. I think, and the reason I'm going for 1-0 honestly, is because I don't think, unlike Barcelona where we come out and attack, I don't think Arteta is going to do that. I think he's going to go in there, try to get a draw, try to get something out of that tie. And if they lose the game 1-0, they might be like, okay, we have something to defend, or basically something, to hope for in the second leg at the Emirates. But that's what I think is going to happen. But guys, you guys let me know what you guys think of everything I've said, guys. What is your prediction of this semi-finals, guys, on both legs, guys? Do you guys think it's going to be very entertaining from both games? Do you guys think one of the games is going to be more entertaining than the other? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, all of the beautiful stuff, and take care. Peace.